What's up, everybody? It's me, DisBearity here. I'm here to talk about the new DLC coming out for Age of Wonders 4, which is called Thrones of Blood. Now, once again, I am sorry that I am late on this news because, man, I've been busy with life. But anyways, I'm finally here to talk about this. So, with the new DLC, as you guys know, we get some new tomes. Tomes, basically any type of new content is great. Just put it like that. So let's go ahead and head on to it. So, greetings, night creatures. The senior designer here is going to be talking about the new tomes for Thrones of Blood. So, as you guys see, you can already see what the tomes look like from right here. They actually look pretty sweet in terms of design, and that's really cool. I like that. You can also get some new tomes through mods and whatnot, but it's always good to also have some official stuff too. So, anywho, though, first tome that you see here, which is a tier 1 tome, by the way, is called the Tome of the Blood Rite. Rite of bloodletting, rite of life leeching, blood drinking blades, blood cultists, flesh card druid, and sanguine focus. So this is the first tome that you get, again, tier 1. It has let's see, it gives you initial bonus to chaos affinity and also to shadow with the blood altar as well. So the first tome, tier 1, blood up, a tome of the blood rite, focused on cults, enabling you to damage your own units with spells or powerful effects and make your enemies bleed. The Blood Cultist is a tier 2 battle mage whose fanatical duties let blood flow. Their Scarlet Plague ability applies Blood Parasite, a new bleeding effect. Ooh, this negative status effect acts and counts as bleeding, with the key difference being that most units, even bloodless ones, can suffer from it. If a unit dies while under this effect, the parasite matures and spawns a new unit called Blood Parasite. Hemorrhage bolts facilitate this by dealing extra damage per stack of bleeding on its target. If that's not enough, the blood dagger of the right ability increases all their damage by 50%, and with the downside of the unit dying at the end of the turn. However, not all is lost, as the dagger of the right also grants the cultist resurgence. If the battle is won, you can get your cultist back. So basically what you're saying, as long as you win the battle, you get your cultist back. Hey, that's pretty baller, honestly. I'll admit that's kind of baller. But you gotta play your cards right, though. You have to make sure that you actually gotta do that. So the blood mag here, you kind of get like a little yeah, looks, model-wise looks pretty great, honestly. The blood magnet unit is a tier 1 fighter that spawns from this new status effect. It moves through the battlefield, feeding on corpses and engorging and strengthening itself. When it dies, it splatters all adjacent enemies, dealing damage and inflicting blood parasite, thus restarting the cycle. That actually is pretty good. It's like it reminds me of the bloater in Total War Warhammer 3. What's it called, the bloater? I think the vampire accounts had it, where it has like 1 HP and all it has to do is get shot and it explodes, right? But in this case though, yeah. So it says it affects everyone or damages everyone. So I guess that means that it damages your units as well. So it does, pretty interesting. But either way though, that infecting, the whole cycle mechanic here feels pretty great. Feels smooth, actually. So then we have right here, this unit here, the Blood Card Runes is a minor transformation in this tome. It grants all your racial units increased world map regeneration. It makes their new attacks and debuffs ignore 1 point of status resistance per stack of bleeding on the target. Oh, now who is this baller looking unit here? The Blood Drinking Blades. Okay, it's an enchantment. Okay, I know. Okay, it's an enchantment for your melee units that increases the physical damage, heals them when attacking bleeding enemies. So you put bleed on your enemies, attack them, you heal. It's that life steal. Pretty great. So Sanguine Focus is an enchantment for your magical units that grants them a chance to make their targets bleed, thereby facilitating your melee units' thirst for blood or the blood cultist's increased damage. So now we actually have other spells and unlocks. The Rite of Bloodletting and the Rite of Life Leeching function similarly, but achieve different outcomes. Both rites require targeting a friendly unit, dealing a flat, unblockable 5 damage. The Rite of Bloodletting then inflicts bleeding on all units within a 2 hex radius of the target friendly unit. Conversely, the Rite of Life Leeching grants strengthen and life drain to all adjacent friendly units for 3 turns. The Blood Altar is a special province improvement unlocked by this tome. It is a conduit that provides draft, increase per nearby farm, and a flat amount of mana whenever you are victorious in battle. All right, so the Tome of Torment. I like the sound of that. So you guys can get an idea what this looks like here. Tormenting projectiles, agonize, pain-bound, pain-bringer, and lens of anguish. Interesting. So it's a shadow affinity, ballistica, limitation. This is a tier 3 tome. So with this end, the second tome is a tier 3 pure shadow tome of torment. This tome focuses on demoralizing your enemies and transforming your units to benefit from the pain inflicted upon them. Torment is a new negative status effect that punishes a unit for using abilities, damaging them and causing them to lose morale whenever an ability is used. It can stack up to 5 times, and when it triggers, a stack is removed. Also counters the gray status effect, acting as its opposite. So this is the Painbringer unit. Ah, pain, suffering. Love it. Oh, y'all know the whole hell. There you go. Lead your army of torment. We are introducing the Painbringer, the first racial mythic unit in the game, and a callback to the Deathbringer from Age of Wonders 3. As a mythic unit, it cannot benefit from most unit enchantments, but it will have a transformation applied to it. It has a free shadow step ability. It can use every turn to teleport up to 2 hex. What the fuck? And its melee strikes heal it for half the damage they deal. Together with its flanker passive, this can be a deadly combo. Additionally, it has a range whip ability called Tormenting Lash that instantly applies 4 stacks of torment. Dear Jesus. Okay, so we have this tome has a minor transformation called Painbound that makes the units relish pain. Whenever a Painbound unit is struck, it gains a small amount of morale and a random status effect. Yeah, they really dove into Hellraiser with that one. I'm not gonna lie. Tormenting projectiles makes your battle mages and range units apply torment with every strike. I like that idea. Other spells and unlocks Agonize. Deals frost damage in a 1 hex radius and has a high chance to apply 3 stacks of torment. Lens of Anguish, a throne-only building that grants mana and combat casting points while making all your combat damage and debuff spells inflict morale loss. Ballistica of Limitation is a special province improvement gained when unlocking the tome. It grants mana, knowledge, and stability to the city, gaining more mana from adjacent farms and more knowledge from adjacent foresters. I actually like that animation there. That's a really cool animation. So Tome of Crimson Rain. So Tome of Crimson Rain is tier 4 tome. Tears of Crimson Sovereign, Mantle of the Blood Noble, Gift of the Old Blood, Crimson Court, and 7 Blood Exarch, Chaos Affinity, and Shadow Affinity. The Tome of Crimson Rain is a tier 4 tome that centers on a corrupt eldritch nobility. This tome delves into the sanguine and gory aspects of eldritch monsters, portraying them as a symbiotic force that empowers your units. Okay, so the Blood Exarch is a source of this corruption. This undead unit is an otherworldly monster of flesh and gore that bestows blessings. Its parasitic cleave slashes 3 enemies in front of the Exarch, bestowing them with a blood parasite so they might be reborn as maggots. Holy shit. This unit right here by itself already seems pretty intense. Might be my favorite unit, truth be told. So Siphon Lesser deals increased damage, lower the unit's tier, and heals the Exarch for half of the damage dealt. It also connects to its Grant Blood of the Exarch ability, which starts on cooldown. However, if Siphon Lesser kills an enemy, but the Exarch's cooldown is refreshed, this ability can then be used to target your tier 3 or higher units, those who deserve to be part of the Crimson Rain, to grant them increased damage, critical chance, and critical damage. Now, Blood Pool is a free action ability that pulls enemy unit adjacent to the Exarch. In addition to those active abilities, the Blood Exarch also has 3 new passives. Coagulate grants it Oyster defense and resistance once per turn when struck. Its Oppressing Aura passive has the chance to make adjacent enemies lose morale and gain misfortune, increasing their chance to fumble. Light Drinker heals the Exarch and grants it strengthen whenever a unit, friend, or foe dies adjacent to itself. So that's actually pretty interesting with that. So if you can pull, basically like you pull your enemies towards you, you do a sweep of your attack, and boom. I actually like that idea or that plan. Things get even more interesting with the Gift of the Old Blood. This new major transformation, a new way to gain the undead unit type, comes a bit later than Whiteborn, but offers additional benefits. It grants your units the new Life Drinker passive ability, seen on the Blood Exarch, which heals and strengthens your units as enemies die around them. It also gives all their attacks a chance to spread the new Blood Parasite status effect. So to help create your Crimson Rain, there's a new Mantle of Blood Noble enchantment. It attaches to all tier 3, 4, and 5 units, giving them the Exarch's Coagulator passive. When entering battle, the enchanted units gain a small amount of maximal hit points, healing received in combat, and scaling with the number of tier 1 and tier 2 units you bring into battle. Wow. Holy shit. Yeah, this DLC is just getting better and better. So other spells and unlocks, of course. Crimson Court is a throne-only structure that, once built, grants all your tier 3, 4, and 5 units increased regeneration on the world map, and a small amount of experience each turn. Additionally, building this structure grants you a passive ability called Crimson Court Magistrate. This ability causes all your vassals to provide extra mana based on their population and generates a large amounts of mana when migrating or raising cities, as well as pillaging provinces. Then you have Tears of the Crimson Sovereign is a combat spell that, when cast for the next 2 rounds or 2 turns, damages and inflicts blood parasite up to 3 enemies and heals and gives fortune to 3 friendly units. So yeah, this DLC, guys, is honestly starting to look up and be something great. Well, I mean, it already is something great, but like, it just, I don't know how to really explain it, but it just feels good. It feels like a nice little treat, you know. I like a lot of the effects that they're giving you. You know, they're just not giving you just, you know, vampires, right? They're giving you something, you know, a little bit more, you know, some flavor to it. So that's what I really like, you know, the whole sugar and spice, make it nice kind of shit. That's what they're giving it with this DLC, you know. So I like how they're bringing in a new CC. Their whole mechanic around this blood parasite, you know, you debuffing your enemies, you know, it's really, really cool, at least in my personal opinion. Now, what I want to know is, what are your guys' thoughts on the DLC? Are you guys excited for it? You know, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching this video. If y'all enjoyed, please remember to like and subscribe. Hit that notification button down below to notify on any other future part. But like I said, apologize for not keeping up with a lot of stuff. Life be life, man. But I'll try to keep up as much as I can in the future. So you guys have a good one. Peace out. Much love, everybody. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and also hit the bell notification down below. Thanks for watching.